What's your advice to someone who feels like a loser?
I would give you the advice I gave myself and then practiced. This is very poignant. Um, there are degrees of this. In depression, there's often a sense, deep depression, including sometimes suicidal depression, a sense of worthlessness, brokenness, despair, you know, unrepairable damage, you know. And so if you're listening and this is you, talk to somebody. It can be changed. It's not true. No one is irreparably damaged. Factually, deep down inside everyone, without being spiritual about it, just you can look directly, there is a inherent awareness, an inherent wakefulness that has qualities of kindness woven into it, and an inner peace and a strength and a wisdom that can never be destroyed. It's inherent. Bad things can be done to you. You can do bad things to yourself. You can do bad things to other people. All that happens above that layer. You carry that layer with you your whole life. One. Two, if you were mistreated, in other words, we develop these feelings because we were mistreated, because there was the presence of the bad and the absence of the good, because no baby is born feeling like a loser. It's the shit that happens to us, and that gets then amplified and ruminated on and reinforced in your brain. That's what makes us feel like a loser. So one, we can step back from those feelings. Just like you were saying earlier, stepping back from the negativity bias, we feel the feelings, right? We're not trying to suppress them, but as soon as we're mindfully aware of them, in a kind of spaciousness of awareness, they're no longer getting reinforced. If anything, they're starting to associate with a more peaceful witnessing. Right? If you kind of follow that, over here is this feeling of inadequacy and shame, and desperation, let's say. But over here, I'm witnessing that. I'm not identified with it. I'm watching the movie. I'm not glued to the screen. That's a crucial difference right there. That's 50% of all mental health practices, is getting that observing spaciousness that has qualities in it of accepting. I don't like what's happening, but it's real, it's here, it's now, and compassion for yourself, a friendliness and a supportiveness toward yourself, not just a dismissiveness toward yourself, which is what a lot of people do to themselves, even if they're nurturing and kind to other people, because when they were young, they were dismissed. They're, in various kinds of ways, from peers, caregivers, parents, and so on. So observe it and name it to yourself. Research shows, name it to tame it. Research shows that if you name what you're feeling, like inadequate, worthless, run to the litter, broken, whatever, just a simple label, that creates some space around it. You're not agreeing with that label. You're just naming what's there. That's really great. I could say another thing or two if it's okay.
Yeah.
There's what we feel in the moment. There's what we do in the moment when we feel like crud. And then there's what do we grow over time. And what's most important if you feel like a loser is what you're growing over time, so that tomorrow or a week from tomorrow, when something happens that triggers you, like you see somebody with their first $1 million, at 25 on Facebook or something, and you get triggered, as you grow these strengths inside, you will get less hammered by that trigger. There will be less reactivity. Right? So it's really important. What are you trying to grow inside? So a lot of research on this and a lot of really helpful stuff, including freely offered at my website and elsewhere. How do you grow the sense of worth inside yourself, right? And I would just say the super short summary of, a lot you can do, but you can really help yourself this way. And I did it for myself. you can deliberately look for genuine experiences today that will fill the hole in your heart. No baby is born feeling like a loser. So there's that hole in the heart. And so today, when you have little opportunities to feel of worth, like I feel your respect here, Brian, and you're tracking what I'm saying. We didn't know each other before this. It's not more than what it is, but it's not less than what it is. That's an opportunity for me to fill my own hole in the heart that I had. It was a huge one when I landed in college, and so on. So look for those opportunities to feel it and to slow down to really receive it in yourself. It may take a while to fill that hole in your heart, but over time you really can build up an inner sense of worth and quality and all the rest of that. And then if you're ambitious and you can do this without getting hijacked, you can do what I call linking. It's a major method in psychotherapy and elsewhere, where you're aware of two things at the same time. You're aware of, let's say, being liked or loved or approved of by others, or maybe aware of some good quality in yourself. So you're having a positive experience of your own worth. That's big in the foreground of awareness. And you can get a sense of it connecting with and even making contact with younger layers inside you that felt like a loser. And when you're aware of both of those at once, over, a breath or two or 5 breaths in a row, maybe longer if you want, the big positive experience starts to associate with that old negative experience kept off to the side. So the positive experience wins. And gradually the positive experience will soothe and even eventually replace that negative experience. As we go through life, we want to, if the mind's like a garden, we can witness it mindfully. That's good. We can pull weeds in it. We can let go of those old beliefs. We can realize that they're just wrong. And we can grow flowers in the garden of the mind that I'm talking about here. And we can even use those flowers, in my last suggestion, to pull the weeds.
I feel like just having that hope that things can change is such a crucial step. And I feel like a lot of people get stuck in having existential crises over temporary situations. And when you do that, like, I feel like you're robbing yourself of giving yourself that hope to change, right? And like understanding that the spot you're at right now is not final, and that like life is fluid and like things change a lot, and that like you're not stuck in the situation that you're at. But then the other side of that is that when things are going good, that it can also take a turn as well. And so it's just balance you have to fight of not having too much negativity bias, but also not being delusional in the positive. Does that make sense?
Oh, super well said. And along the way, invest in yourself. What's the primary origin point for whatever good occurs in your life? It's yourself. It's your character. It's your mind. It's your skills. It's what you've developed inside yourself, and it's also what the world lands on. It's interesting. Like during COVID, I observed that a lot of people were in trouble because they were being shored up by extrinsics. The friends they could hang out with, the movies they could see, the restaurants they could go to, bars, have fun, It was externals, travel, externals. And with COVID, those externals fell away, and then what people are left with is what's intrinsically inside themselves. And for a lot of folks, they looked inside and was like, whoa, Mother Hubbard's cupboard is a little too bare. I don't have inherently a lot of self-worth, a lot of contentment, a lot of inner peace. I don't have it. And all that was sort of shored up as long as I could keep the dance going. But when the music stopped, so to me, a huge takeaway, especially for younger people, and that goes to my point about the cost of investing in yourself is amortized over the long haul, but the benefits compound exponentially over the same period. Yeah, what are you trying to grow inside yourself these days? What are you trying to heal and grow? And that is really helpful to just, without getting all self-absorbed about it. Just know, what are the one or two things that are your high-value targets that you're focused on healing these days and also developing inside yourself. And sometimes that's a 2-for-1, like developing a sense of self-worth, to grow that, in part to heal old feelings of being a loser.